Hello friends, Tom Downey here for College Football Now. Name a more iconic duo. Coaches getting fired on the Sunday after rivalry week. The correct answer is peanut butter and jelly, but I digress because we have another coach getting fired. North Carolina has ousted Larry Fedora today. Isn't a huge surprise. Even though Fedora went 11-3 in 2015 and had a winning mark at UNC, he was 5-18 in his last two seasons. Despite some success, you can't do that in year 6 and 7 as a college football head coach and expect to survive and not be fired. So Fedora is out in North Carolina. They now begin their head coaching search, and we've got 10 names for you guys to watch out for as to guys that UNC could hire. We'll start from number 10 and work our way down into some more likely or more desirable targets. At number 10, how about Todd Graham, the former Arizona State head coach? He makes a list for two reasons. Number one, he was hired at Tulsa by the current UNC AD, Bubba Cunningham. And remember, he wants back in. He interviewed for the Kansas head coaching job. And he has some success, but there's one big issue, at least for me, when it comes to Todd Graham. He is a noted job jumper. He has burned many bridges. I'm not personally all that interested in Graham as my next head coach. All right, number 9, if UNC wants to go from offensive to defensive minded, how about Dave Aranda, the LSU DC? Here's the big issue here, beyond just the lack of head coaching experience. He's making $2.5 million per year at LSU. That's some steep money to really, there's a chance he could make only not that much more at UNC if that. So given that UNC's paying a $12 million buyout for Fedora, I don't know if that makes the most sense. Also keep an eye out here for another dark horse defensive coordinator name, Gene Chizik. Now, I'd be surprised if he came back into the coaching ranks, but his last job was as the UNC DC. All right, number 9, another lesser name, Mike Houston. I don't think many casual fans know that. I think that's understandable. No one would. But he's 36-5 in 3 years as the James Madison head coach. He won the title back in 2016, second last year, and is back in the FCS playoffs this season. One plus, he played college football at Mars Hill in North Carolina, so he knows the area well enough. The big issue, he has never coached at any level, at any job, at the FBS level. That's a big red flag there. So it's a risk, but we've seen some FCS coaches have some success in the past. Number 7, let's stick kind of in this general area. How about Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator for Georgia? He's been in that role since 2016. Nearly landed the Tennessee head coaching job, was the runner-up there that eventually went to Jeremy Pruitt. He has experience as an NFL DC and an interim head coach, but has never been a head coach at the college level. But Tucker wants a head coaching job. I'm sure he'll have interest. The question is, does UNC share the same feelings? By the way, one more name that we're not going to have on our list here. Neil Brown over at Troy makes some sense, but I think he's going to look elsewhere. Maybe UNC might as well, but he is also a name to monitor. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $100, they're going to give you $120 for free. Put down 200, they're going to, or put down 100, they're going to give you $120. Put down 500, they're going to give you $600 extra dollars to bet with, but only if you use that promo code LIVE120. All right, number 6, a name I've seen linked before, and I think makes some sense. Mike Norvell has done a good job as the Memphis head coach, and Memphis could ruin UCF's undefeated season here if they take them down in the AAC championship game. Remember, he was at Tulsa under Todd Graham with the current UNC AD Bubba Cunningham. Now, Norvell has done a good job at Memphis. Here's my big concern. They're not the same coach, obviously, but their backgrounds are kind of similar. Young, offensive-minded guy who's had some success at the Group of 5 level. I don't know if UNC wants to make a similar hire in that regard, but if they do, I think Norvell's a good fit. Number 5, Scott Satterfield, another lesser-named coach, but has done a fantastic job at App State. 46-16, has drawn interest before, but App State is his alma mater. Would he really leave Appalachian State to go take the UNC job? I would, but I didn't go to school at App State, so that's the big issue there, but I think UNC will have interest in Satterfield. Number 4, we'll stick again in this Carolina area region for the most part. Tony Elliott. He's still very young. He's just 38 years old, but he's been the co-OC at Clemson since 2015. Even though he's an alumnus, he was a finalist for the Browse Award last year, aka the award that goes to the top assistant in college football. At some point, he's going to get a head coaching job. And if you're Elliott, I think going from Clemson to UNC is a pretty logical step if you're willing to leave your alma mater. And Elliott, only 38, bright future ahead of him. If UNC can land Elliott, I think that would be a fantastic hire. If they don't go with a current or former head coach, I think Elliott is one of the top guys that makes some sense, and I think might be a little bit more gettable than maybe some of the guys higher up here on our list. All right, number 3. How about Mack Brown? And don't laugh at me yet. I think this actually makes quite a bit of sense. Now, he retired in 2013, but there's buzz among the UNC boosters that, hey, and as boosters are so often willing to do, let's go back to the good old days. Let's bring back Coach Brown. He was there for almost 10 years, 69, 46-1 at UNC, helped to have great success there, was great at Texas, but things did seem to pass him by a little bit. So Mack Brown at number 3, don't rule that one out. I think there is some legitimate consideration to have with Mack Brown and UNC. We know that Mack Brown loves Chapel Hill, and I think for good reason. It's a great, great city. So don't rule out Mack Brown at UNC, although I think that the Tar Heels will look at some other coaches as well. So number 2, Seth Littrell. UNC fans know him well. He was the OC at North Carolina from 14 to 15. 23-16 at North Texas this year. He is, I think, the one, if not the absolute top group of 5 coaches out there right now. Now, the issue for Littrell, or I guess I should say for UNC, is that I'm sure UNC wants, I'm sure Littrell's interest, but Littrell's drawing action from other Power 5 schools, namely Texas Tech and Kansas State. If one or both of those jobs open, could Littrell, currently in North Texas, take a Big 12 job instead? So which job would you rather have? Type T for Texas Tech and type N for North Carolina. I might lean toward North Carolina, but I don't know if Littrell feels the same way. UNC has now fired Fedora, as we mentioned. I think you'll see the Tar Heels make a move and try and land their former OC if he wants to go back. But Littrell is going to have plenty of interest this year. He has done a fantastic job turning a dormant North Texas program into a legitimate bowl team. All right, at number 1, a coach that I don't consider all that likely, but we have to mention him here because it seems that UNC wants him, is Ryan Day. Now, he has passed on head coaching jobs, namely the Bulldogs, Mississippi State passed on that one, passed on the Texans offensive coordinator job, and in reality, might be next in line at Ohio State if it's not Matt Campbell or somebody else there at Ohio State. I know that UNC is going to have interest, but I don't know if Ryan Day is going to. If UNC can land Day, that's a great hire. Day might make a little more sense for a team, perhaps like a Boston College, given how much time he spent there. So UNC will make a run at Ryan Day. I know they'll have interest, but I don't know if it's mutual. It would be a great hire for the Tar Heels, but I think they might have to settle for somebody else. All right, folks, to recap my top 10 UNC head coach candidates: Todd Graham, Dave Aranda, Mike Houston, the James Madison head coach, Mel Tucker, and then Mike Norvell. A lot of Mikes on that list, go figure. Scott Satterfield, the head coach at App State. I'd like that one. Tony Elliott, if you want to go with a non-current head coach or former head coach, I think Elliott would make great sense, would be a good fit for UNC. He knows the area. Mack Brown, don't rule that one out. The former UNC head coach could make his return to college football. We saw Les Miles do it. We saw Herman Edwards do it. Why not Mack Brown? Seth Littrell at number 2, which would be a great hire there for UNC. And then Ryan Day, I think, would be kind of almost the ideal hire for a lot of programs. I don't know if he's actually going to leave OSU this year. He could pull a Dave Aranda, for example, or Pruitt and stick around as a DC, or an OC, I should say, for Day, for an extended period of time. But let me know in the comment section, folks, who you guys want North Carolina to hire as the next head coach. Was it one of those top 10 guys? Was it a Neil Brown, for example? Was it a Gene Chiswick if you want to go that route? Let me know if you have other options. Give me a thumb in the comment section as well.